When you're rich and you're getting married, a prenup, actually they recommend a prenup for anybody.
For anybody.
Yeah, and I would too. As a divorced person, I feel like I have an expert on the subject, and I would recommend a prenup. It just makes things cleaner. It's not going to, may not even save you money, but it actually just eliminates a lot of crap that you have to go through.
Yeah, procedure-wise,
when you
absolutely.
divorce, because all of the stuff is decided beforehand rather than after. And so anybody that tells you, by the way, that you don't love them because you want a prenup is full of shit, don't marry that person. That's what I would say. I'd be like, you're going to change your opinion on that, or we're not getting married. Like it
has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing to do with what you think is going to happen in the relationship. I got news for people. Everybody goes into a marriage thinking it's going to last. It just sometimes doesn't. And so Jeff Bezos has been divorced. Him and his wife, Mackenzie, built Amazon, and her involvement in it, she raised 4 kids, that sort of thing too, right? So you get, the law looks at that and goes, that's part of this.
Yeah.
I think she was given like 5% of Amazon, and she's worth 130 or 140 billion dollars now because of it. And Jeff is now getting married, and so the prenup, they're saying, would primarily focus on his vast holdings acquired before his marriage and insulating those from any ownership by Miss Sanchez, Lauren Sanchez, during their marriage.
$223 billion he's estimated to be worth?
Yeah.
How is that even a real number?
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Ooh.
I remember like the richest people growing up, were like, the IKEA guy is worth 40 billion, and now it's 250
Will
billion.
Smith is,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
A common feature of this type of prenup is to say, according to legal experts, that no matter how much labor or work goes into any business asset, the acquisition remains entirely separate. This type of prenup can be challenging because of the need for complete and total disclosure. So essentially, you have to disclose all your
financial disclosure,
before you get married.
Yeah.
Now, I am curious about one thing with this. Okay. So we're talking about the prenup, and we're talking about the money and whatever. I don't know what their relationship is like. I don't know what it's based on. Every relationship has, is different, and how you guys came together and that sort of thing. But part of being in a marriage is working as a team on each other's things. And what that sentence says essentially is, it doesn't matter what Lauren does for, say, remember they were up in space with Blue Origin. Doesn't matter what she does to promote that.
The gals trip.
It's still Jeff's, right?
Yeah.
And there is a provision in there for, hey, if we break up, here's how much money you're going to get.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, with wealth at that scale, does there come a point where you don't need a prenup anymore? Like for people like us, if you take, hundreds of thousands of dollars away from somebody in our income bracket, that is going to be life-changing amounts of money.
Yeah.
If you take hundreds of millions away from Jeff Bezos, that isn't going to change anything.
It's like, I can't make my rent now.
Well, he'll never. You said 200 billion, right? So if you took 10 billion, which is hundreds of millions, that will not change a single minute of his life.
And I feel like because his portfolio would be so diversified, he'd never have to be like even if he lost like 75% of his income, he could just go to a different well. You know what I mean? To get he would be like, well, I guess this tree's tapped. I'm going to go to the other money tree.
Right.
Like, you're at such I don't think money matters at that level.
Right? I don't know how it could. I don't know what wouldn't you get bored?
This makes me hate him.
No. I'm not of the opinion that you should just hate people because they're billionaires.
No, it's not because of that.
But I do think that and I know that's not what you're saying. There's a lot of people out there who are very resentful, and I get it. But
when it comes to his prenup,
then when it comes to this, I was just trying to figure out, even if she takes half, he's worth 250 billion or something.
I would say go ahead, go girl.
Is that
he's okay.
What's going to happen? Actually, what's going to happen? And I know he earned it and he built it and whatever you wanted to say, but what would happen? What would change? What would he have to even sell?
Would he still be this first richest person in the world?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he is right now. He might be.
Who is?
I think it was Elon for a bit.
Who is? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been Jeff and Elon and one of the guys from, I forget where the other guy is. But
the triplets.
Zuckerberg's probably up there.
I think that they can just, I think at that level you wouldn't need a prenup. It's we'll figure it out after. because there's nothing really like.
I think maybe you're just avoiding like a bunch of lawyers going back and forth for 20 years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, like I don't, maybe it's a function of not being super wealthy.
Because we can't even conceptualize. Yeah, we can't even conceptualize it. Though.
Yeah,
like, we're like,
I'm trying to figure out like what amount of money do you have to take away from Jeff before he starts to feel pain?
I don't think there is a number, because I think when you're that, like, I think it would take. And how old is he?
He's in his 50s.
Yeah, he's 61. So 61, I feel like by the time, even if he had a tenth of the money, like he'd be dead before he would even feel a hit.
I think it could be like the principle of the matter. Like being that rich, people are going to be your friend or date you just for your money.
Yeah, 100%.
So it could even just be the principle of the matter of just being like, maybe he obviously loves her and he wants to get married, but he's like, maybe she just wants me for my money and she's going to leave me like this. Like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that could be the reason for the prenup.
Yeah, no.
I feel like when you're that rich though, like if I was that wealthy, I'd be like, I'm too rich to fight. You know, I'd be like, I don't know, take it. Like, you know, I think
that's
like,
why people would say, well, that's why you're not rich. That's actually not true.
No.
There are plenty of rich people who just go, yeah, whatever, man. But it's an interesting thing, right? Because you just go, like, even $1 billion is so much money.
Yeah.
It's so much money. It's crazy.
Because he can't be like, you can't come for the little guy here. Like, he doesn't have that excuse. Like, oh, I'm so mad. You're not coming for me. It's like, he would obviously know how I have so little money in comparison to him that I can't even imagine the logistics of thinking about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I was watching a YouTube video once, and it was, I don't know where, you go those random YouTube rabbit holes or whatever.
Oh yeah,
a Jeff Bezos like clip came up, and he was talking about like everybody thinks that if I just copy what this rich person does in their day to day, like they drink a green smoothie at 8:30. If I drink a green smoothie at 8:30, I'm going to be wealthy. That's not true. When you listen to Mark Cuban talk about being a billionaire, there's some guys who are billionaires who think I got here because I'm the most brilliant person on earth. The reality of the situation is, because I think he was on Smartless, Mark Cuban, they said, how do you plan to be a billionaire? He's like, you don't. He's like, you can't. It's just it's a function of luck. You're born in the right place, in the right era, you got the right education, and you had the right idea right at the time, in his case, when computers were taking off. Yeah. And then he bought a basketball team, and then he did all these other things that he did. And I kind of thought, I was like, man, that's so interesting, because that's the most honest take on it that I've seen.
He's like, yeah, that's a humble, like that's a very,
and like,
that's a humble take on it.
This Bezos clip was like, well, I don't like to do any meetings before 10 a.m. and I like to do this and whatever. And people were like, it's funny in the comments, people were like, oh, like it's either Jeff Bezos is a god or well, you run your own company, so you can say that there's no meetings before 10 a.m. Most of us cannot do that.
Got to drink the nectar of the gods at 2:43 a.m.
Exactly. I
just realized that I'm sorry, I went into a bit of my own rabbit hole over here. I realized that if Jeff Bezos had a mustache, he would look like the Monopoly Man. Because he's often
he needs a monocle.
But he's often in a tuxedo. And I was like, you look like the Monopoly Man, little bald fellow.
Little top hat and a monocle.
Very wealthy Monopoly Man.
If he had a good sense of humor about himself, and I'm not sure if he does.
I have a feeling he doesn't.
He would dress like that for Halloween.
Yeah, like that's funny.
You got to do that.
Get a little cane.
Yeah.
Get a little cane.
By the way, they say that guys like in his wealth strata, Elon, Jeff, some of these other guys, the scale of wealth is so big now that they have more money relative to what everybody else has than anybody in history.
That makes me feel crazy.
So like all the kings you can think of, all the emperors you can think of, the jewels and the horses and all that, that you think of, like the British Empire and the French Empire, the Spanish Empire, these big, colossus countries that took over half the world. And these guys have more money than like the kings and queens of those places. It's great, like ever. It's insane. It's like you kind of
Don't make me depressed. Don't make me depressed, Adam. That's
I'm gonna turn you into Comrade Jax here.
Better watch out. Better watch out. Better watch out. No, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Like it's unfathomable. You can't relate to it.